Welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. Tonight we talk on the latest transfer rumours, our predictions for the upcoming games against Forest and Derby, that penalty miss, Super 6, the ladies team. We also take a look at what's happening over at B6, and we have a special guest, Hayden Atkins. So join us on the only BCFC radio show on the planet.
Birmingham's the team, down at St Andrews, we are all supporters of our team. We chant at Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton, we'll support you till the end of the day.
Well, there you go. We've got no script, have we, Chris?
No script.
No script. But we have got a guest. Hang on, just get me
Special
applause
guest.
ready. Special guest, Hayden Atkins. Good, yeah, that's enough. You've officially got the clap now, as Nick would
Cheers,
say.
boys. Can I go now, yeah?
You can go now, yeah.
Thanks for coming.
We'll talk to Hayden a bit later about what he does and so forth and so forth. But let's kick straight into the game, Bournemouth. Give us the rundown.
Aside we lost to 8-0 only 18 months or so ago. I thought we were very, very good, albeit they made 11 changes. You know, a lot of those players would have played in the team that beat us 8-0, been in the squad, so then they'd have known what it felt like to come to Blues and win so comfortably, and the apathy around Blues at that time. Still got the likes of inexperienced centre half in Sylvan Distan playing for them. So to go there and arguably be the better side, I thought was testament to how far we've come, really, and to be disappointed in not beating them, or at least not getting a draw, was testament to where we've come, really. Taking the lead in the first half with a good Michael Morrison header. Unfortunately, couldn't get through to half time, and then conceding the goal quite late on to see us get knocked out. But as I say, I don't think we can be too disappointed with that.
You're at the game, mate?
I wasn't, mate.
You wasn't
No,
at the game, no?
I wasn't at the
No.
game. I sort of followed it as
Yeah.
you guys would have done. But
I was surprised at the game. I thought it wasn't too bad.
No,
I
no.
was expecting a bit.
I think
7-8-ish,
because the main stand and the Gil Merrick were closed off. They got everybody in the Tilton and Cop, and I think it just attracted a few more people in, and they were publicising it for tickets for a tenner, weren't they? In the week building up to the game.
I think it makes
so
the atmosphere if it's a bit more compact and things like that.
Yeah, that's it.
I think
Yeah.
last time I went and they did the same thing, and I thought, wow, it's quite a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think they should close the main stand down anyway myself.
Yeah, they still had I think corporate and the like in that stand, but with the majority of the fans in the Cop and the Tilton, it did make for a better atmosphere. Bournemouth bought a decent allocation along with them as well, so I think about 2,500.
Oh, that's good.
So,
That was good.
yeah, so
Good
they bought their
surprise.
fair share. So it was.
How many
it
changes
was
did Blues play, make, or if any?
Not many.
6 or
Legends was in goal instead of Kujak.
Right, okay.
Solomon Otterball played. I think Davies Vaughan played, obviously. Cottrell come back in. Unfortunately, went back off again. Same with Eardley. So yeah, we made a few. Morrison played. So we made a few changes. Obviously, Bournemouth made all 11. Played a completely different side to their last Premier League game. But as I said, that their reserves are on a par, if not better than our squad still.
So on the whole, not too disappointed, really.
No, not at all. I don't think so. No.
Bit of relief, maybe, that we can concentrate more on the league. Or
Well,
that old cliche.
obviously, I think you'd rather win. Winning at home.
Yeah.
To keep that run going, especially beating a Premier League side, would have been an excellent scalp. But I was thinking, with 15 minutes left, with 10 minutes left, it's still 1-1. This is where there's been the old age debate about replays in the FA Cups. Do we need them? Do we want them?
Yeah.
I think Blues and Bournemouth, with 10 minutes to go, if you would have asked both sets of players, neither side would have wanted the draw. I think neither side would have wanted another game. And I was stood there with 10 minutes left thinking, I hope we score. If we don't score, I hope they score, because the last thing I want is another game, and we have to travel down to the south coast to play them again.
Isn't it awful the way the FA Cup's changed?
Well, it is.
You don't want another game where 20, 30 years ago, oh, crikey.
You know, a Premier League club, you'd have said, yeah, go on then. We're more than happy to draw with a Premier League club, but with the fixture congestion that we've got a game Tuesday night, then Saturday. The replay would have had to have been the Tuesday after that. Then we've got a home game on so it would have been 4 games in the space of 2 weeks again.
True.
You know, with the injuries we've got, the fixture congestion, I think, whisper it quietly, but in a way, I think a lot of people within the club would have been, you know, slightly more relieved that they scored rather than we have to go back down there and probably get knocked out anyway.
Have you got any views on the FA Cup, Hayden?
I think it is a bit of a shame that it's sort of dying a bit of a slow death, and the sort of commitment, like you said, 30 years ago, it would have been another great away day, but like you said, I think with the fixture congestion, as you know, you come through Christmas and you think back to your weekly games, and it's a bit better to sort of concentrate on how you're going every Saturday rather than adding another one into the mixer there. But like you said, I think if you'd have asked both sets of fans, with 80 minutes to go, I think both would have said, if we could have snuck a penalty in at the end now, I think they would have taken it.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
On the day, it wasn't to be, but it's one of those, isn't it?
I mean, in reality, you look at the Friday night game where Exeter drew to Liverpool. That sort of game is the reason why I wouldn't take replays away from the FA Cup, because you'd be denying Exeter fans and Exeter players the chance to go to Anfield, which they have now got the chance to do. Liverpool, obviously, the last thing they wanted was another game, but they've got it. But Exeter, for Exeter's side of it, brilliant, massive payday away at Anfield. The players and fans get the chance to experience the Anfield atmosphere and play and witness your team playing there. So maybe just a bending of the rules, in what way? In the way that the teams get to decide. If both teams are happy and agree that neither of them want the replay, then maybe you agree before the fixture and you say, right, it finishes today.
Extra time.
It finishes extra time or penalties on the day. Obviously Liverpool would say, finish it on the day, but Exeter would say no. So Liverpool don't have the choice then, because Exeter have said no. They would want a replay. But I think
traditionalists, they're not interested in things like that.
No, exactly. Maybe that is messing with it a bit too much. But if you'd have asked Blues hierarchy and Bournemouth's hierarchy before the game, I think both of them would definitely have said, let's end it on the day, because neither of us want another game.
Just going back to the game, but Blue Arbor says, although we made 11 changes, shows how far we have come, as Bournemouth have spent 17 million on 2 strikers in 2 days. That's true.
Exactly, of course, and that's the rewards of being in the Premier League. That a team that have come from League 2 5 years ago have now got that wealth from rising the leagues. Yes, they have got wealthy backers as well, but the Premier League money that they get, they can afford to pluck 2 strikers out for 17 million pounds. And I think the Murray, who they bought on, who scored the winner, he cost 3-4 million from Palace. What would we give to have 3-4 million to spend on a player?
Ducker says, I'm glad we're out of the cup, because now we can concentrate on the league. Yep.
Age-old statement, isn't it?
Yeah. Did anyone hear the stupid comment Mark Lawrenson made on that Match of the Day on Saturday about how Bournemouth had made 11 changes and still beat us? But he didn't mention Blues had made 7 changes.
Well, it wasn't the only stupid comment Mark Lawrenson made that day.
He makes quite a few.
But I think he was probably licking his wounds a bit, because he actually tipped us to beat them, I think, in his BBC Sport column.
Oh, right, okay.
I think he tipped us to beat them, so I think he was a little bit annoyed that we'd let him down there. But
Kappa makes a comment, which we'll come back to that. That's another topic, but it's a great topic. Just going back to the game, let's talk about that Vaughan penalty.
I mean,
I've seen it. Still travelling.
I haven't played football at any level, like apart from a kickabout on a Sunday morning here and there.
Yeah.
And I'm not the greatest player, but I've no idea how a player can miss the target so badly. But he obviously was so desperate to score, and he just wanted to put his foot through it. Unfortunately, he's leant back and it's gone sky high.
I've seen his Twitter remarks. He was pretty gutted.
You can tell, can't you?
Yeah.
You can.
It's one of them things.
It is, unfortunately, and the best players in the world have missed penalties. A couple of weeks ago, Ronaldo put one over the bar at the Bernabeu. So the best players in the world do it. So unfortunately for Vaughan, like you say, I think his goals will come because his work rate is certainly making up for goals.
Yeah, apparently he did run around a bit. So,
he's working his socks off at the moment. So if the goals come, then he'll be a really big part to play in the second half of the season.
It's nice to actually see the Blues fans sort of rally behind Vaughan after his miss. A lot of Blues fans were getting behind him and saying, don't.
There was quite a few who didn't get behind.
Yeah, there were a few that were
Facebook
criticising. I heard a few. He's too like Wes Thomas comments, but he's been here a month, 2 months. He needs to settle. He needs time.
And as you say, he's been here a month and a half ish. Before that, he hadn't played all season, so he's still he's probably still trying to get into the match fitness. That's obviously. You could be out for a year and you don't need to put a penalty over the bar, but but his work rate that he is putting in, considering the length of time he's had out, is quite impressive. To be fair, I think so. Once the goals come, I'm sure. I've spoke to Huddersfield fans on social media that say he's one of these. Once he gets one, he'll probably get 8 in 10. Do you know what I mean? And if he does, then brilliant for us. So.
Yeah,
but hopefully you can get those goals.
That sort of leads us on to transfers and whatever. Because we haven't actually got anybody in, really, have we?
Well, it's been a bit quiet, considering
very quiet.
The month and a half before the window opened, it was all Rowett coming out and saying we have got money to spend. There's money there,
and now we've got this.
Then we see Gray go, so we think, okay, there's even more money to spend there. Let's go out early on, so that we're not messing around at the end of the window. But it does seem a bit quiet at the moment. There's names here and there linked, but nothing concrete at the moment.
Was anybody we fancy?
There was shouts of Connor Washington from
the Peterborough striker.
He's come up through the non-league ranks. I believe they got him from Newport, who's another one. They might let go, but he looks good. He got another goal this weekend as they went through. Yeah. I wouldn't mind him, and obviously Tom Bradshaw's another name.
I like him. Yeah. I do like Bradshaw.
There was a bid rejected this week, and I believe it was Bristol City that had that rejected.
Okay.
He's another name. In the region of 400-500 grand it was.
Right.
And they're looking for about 750. So
the Peterborough chairman Darren McAntony is notorious for getting the very last penny out of players. Do you know what I mean? Daniel Levy type of the lower leagues. So I don't think he'd just let them go for nothing. He'd want to get the best possible price for him. But I like Washington. I do like Bradshaw a lot.
What's happened to Wes Brown? Docko's just made that comment. Is Wes Brown leaving?
Wes Brown?
I don't mean Wes Brown.
He's at Swindon, isn't it? Swindon Town.
Oh, right.
Wes Brown?
Wes Thomas.
Wes Thomas? Yes, Wes Brown. Wes Thomas, yeah.
Wes Thomas.
Yeah.
Wes Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't know. He did come back, didn't he? I think. I mean, I've said this before about the striker situation on numerous times. We may, a lot of fans may be crying out for strikers, but with Donaldson's fit, Donaldson plays. We know that.
Yep.
On the off chance that Donaldson isn't fit, then we've now got Vaughan. So really, who else do we need? I mean, it would be pretty unlucky if both of those were out injured simultaneously, and we're left with Brock Madsen and Thomas, say.
Or Novak.
Shut up.
I think Novak scored. Did he?
Yeah,
at the weekend again. Yeah, in Chesterfield. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, would the 3.5 million get us a proven goal scorer?
At this level, it should do.
Should do, yes, what I'm thinking. Yeah.
But then you look at the proven goal scorers in the Championship. Benik Afobe at Wolves has just gone for 10 million to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So we're at a stage in football now where maybe proven Championship goal scorers aren't 3.5 million anymore. They're 10 million plus. Jordan Rhodes, how much would Jordan Rhodes cost? 10 million plus probably.
I'll just skip through some of the comments. We'll go back to the Villa abuse because that's quite funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Entertaining.
George Bill said, I disagree, I don't rate him. I don't know about Thomas. Where's Brock Madsen? Yeah, we just talked about that. Wish he was our chairman. Sick of Blues giving players away, says George Bill.
Give him players.
I have listened to Tom Ross interview with Gary Rowett. Rowett wouldn't confirm or deny, but said we have 4 strikers, but definitely looking at wingers and looking to strengthen elsewhere.
Well, your question of who we'd like, I would still be looking at McManaman from West Brom as a potential incoming, as a replacement for Gray. If we could get him on loan, I think that'd be an excellent signing for the rest of the season. I do rate him quite highly. And then there's Will Buckley as well from Sunderland, who's been mentioned a couple of times. So.
Yeah, the forward Clayton Vaughan, Brock Madsen, and Thomas.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the highlights. See what happens when you mention Novak. What's this rumour about Tom Bradshaw? Well, it's not really a rumour, is it?
No.
I think it's just standard media. They see who scored a lot of goals in League One, and they see who needs strikers in the Championship, and they put two together, and it's an automatic story, isn't it? I wouldn't be 100% sure of the accuracy of it, but.
Okay, Capos comment here. Asking the whole of the panel, what does everyone think if a group was set up at the Blues in the Tilton with getting in touch with the club, if they allow a whole block in the Tilton made for us fans who want to jump, sing, shout and have flags, banners, etc. So a sort of thing like the Holmesdale, Crystal Palace. I think it could work if the club helped out, a bit like Crystal Palace, but clearly on a smaller stage for now. Have we got any opinions?
It's a lovely idea.
Firstly, would the club ever do anything to help that way?
I don't
they
know.
did on a very small scale when they did the Forza Blues things. But
it's a great idea. But then you're looking at a half-full Tilton. We know that the upper Tilton will always be full because that's always season tickets. But the lower Tilton is quite often the first few rows are empty. So if you've got one block of the lower stand that's full of people singing and dancing and jumping, then the rest of it's probably empty. Now whether that, I think the joy of the Palace thing is that stand is always full anyway.
Yeah, it's well organised.
And that corner has been there for, whether it's been on Match of the Day or not, it's been there for quite a long time now. I used to go 10 years ago, and that corner was always doing that anyway.
It's a fantastic idea, though.
It is.
The whole fan culture.
If every club, could do it, I think they would, because if every club could do what Dortmund do with their big stands,
incredible.
It's obviously the ideal situation, but.
And I think it does rub off on the players as well.
Without a shadow of a doubt,
When the Blues fans got behind them against Brentford, I think it was just a natural lift to the players. You could see it. I think
you see it even with the sort of tifos and the displays that you're saying about Crystal Palace. Even places like the MLS, that's really evolving. And then these small sides that we sort of often, don't really take much notice of over there. They really sort of these fan groups are really come together, and they do work. But like you said, it takes a lot of work between club and fans, and a lot of the times the fans will have to dig into their own pockets, and it's whether that sort of thing would want to happen. But it's a great idea, and I'd love it to happen down there. I really would.
Document Reece Brown, because he's gone over to West Ham, hasn't he?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I know he's at the Villa, but Sendros is looking to going back to Switzerland to find regular football. Would we consider having him?
No.
No?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
Terribly. I mean, we think Robinson and Spectre might be slow. I think he's even worse. I think the only plus you can put on him is experience, but we've got experience in the shape of Robinson and Spectre. I don't think we need another ageing, slow centre half. I think we need someone alongside those who can fit alongside those centre halves.
Does anybody know how far Kobe Arthur is away from coming back? Nope.
No,
No
afraid
idea.
I don't know.
No idea.
What about when he does come back? If he comes back, is it something that could be for the first?
Well, he broke into the side before.
He did briefly,
before Solomon
didn't
Otterbull, didn't he? He had made a few substitute appearances.
I liked Kobe Arthur.
He looked quite lively.
Yeah, I thought he was on par with like early Redmond. Just to get himself around.
Yeah.
He wasn't scared to.
So if he can come back into the fray, then there's another sort of option, isn't it, in the attacking sense of someone who Championship defences might not know a lot about. So you know, his mere presence and them not knowing a lot about it might cause a few problems for teams. So.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about bringing in wingers. We're mentioning Buckley and McManaman. You know, we've got Viv. You know, Kobe Arthur might not be too long away.
Yeah.
We're not too sure. Do we need to bring someone in?
Magoma and Cottrell as well.
Magoma, Cots,
whether
whether he
Cottrell
stays
on that, yeah. But
two options, aren't there?
But I think that front three behind the striker and in front of the two can be made up of wingers or attacking midfielders. You know, but sometimes when Magoma plays, he likes to come inside. When Gray played, he definitely liked to come inside. We saw that a lot. So there was a lot of, you know, sort of crying out for a natural wide man to stay out wide, which is probably where you're looking at the likes of Buckley and McManaman who would do that job for you. But
Can't say how much about Zach Clough. Zach
Clough.
Clough of Bolton.
Good player.
Yeah.
Really good little player, highly rated. I'd be very surprised if we got him. I think he's a lower end Premier League sort of target rather than...
Is he a relation of the...
not that I'm aware of, no.
He's come through Bolton's academy.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if he didn't leave, seen as the sort of financial
absolutely.
turmoil. I think
I think if they're desperate for money, you know, there's not a lot in their squad that they could sell. He is definitely one that they could, you know,
make a bit
put
of
a price on and raise some liquid cash for.
So I think Kobe and Cottrell are both out with niggling injuries. Answers that question.
It's amazing how niggling injuries can last months though. You're still waiting and another week goes by and unfortunately, but Cottrell's might be a couple of weeks yet until the end of the transfer window. You never know.
Yeah. Any news on the ladies? I know there is. I want you to tell me.
Yeah. It's another departure.
Another one's gone up, mate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sound the alarm. The goalkeeper Rebecca Spencer has joined Chelsea, who keep on spending, and I think they've got a squad of about 25-30 players now. I don't know how they're going to fit them all in, but disappointing because she was brilliant last season. She's come on leaps and bounds over the last 18 months again, and you know the real plus point of last season, if there was one, was the defence and the goalkeeper situation. But now we've lost her. I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Sophie Bagley now, who will come through a young keeper who was come through the centre of excellence, come through the development side, and I think she made a couple of first team appearances last season.
Oh, right.
She's a good keeper, but you know, knowing that you've got Rebecca Spencer there obviously makes it a little bit easier. But if she's the number one, there'll be a bit of pressure on her. But
do you follow the women's game at all?
I do. I do here and there, not as much as the men's game, but it's a shame to see sort of some of the big names leaving for the more established clubs.
I remember the chairman coming on this programme a couple of years ago and saying that's exactly what we're going to happen.
That's right, he was spot on.
Absolutely.
But I would say, we were saying it throughout the whole of the last couple of months of last season that once we knew that we were safe and that the season was petering out, you could just tell that some things were, the way the other teams are spending preparing themselves, getting all professional, and you can't. To be fair, I can't.
Are you fearing a little bit? For
I
next
can't begrudge
season
any
now?
of the players leaving because they're going to brilliant opportunities that women's players have never had in this country before. So I don't begrudge any of them.
It's just a shame that it's just a few.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
So,
little bit.
Are you fearing for
Little bit, yeah. When you see a side who were promoted last season from WSL in Doncaster Bells, who have become a lot more professional than half the WSL 1 teams, signing England internationals in Natasha Dowie, and so it is. The golf's getting bigger and bigger every season.
Robert mentions it. He said lots of moans on social media about renewing season tickets for ladies, as they'll be watching the second string players. Well, yeah,
they've put it up from £30 to £40 for a season ticket,
right? Okay. Which is still brilliant.
It's still good value. I can't moan at the value still. There'll be 8 games next season, 8 home games in the league. Right. So at £40, it's £5 a game, which is still really good value.
Brilliant value.
But as Hobber says, we have seen Carney leave. We've now seen Chelsea Weston and Rebecca Spencer leave, 2 which I didn't see coming. We've got 2 more players who went to the World Cup with England who are still there at the moment. Whether they'll be there at the start of the season, who knows? I sincerely hope so. And obviously the lack of interaction between the club and the fans on social media is pitiful at the moment. The only time they've tweeted since the 15th of December, I think, is to tell people that the players are going,
and the prices are going up,
and the season ticket prices have gone up. So, and everybody else, again, I don't really like to compare, but with so few teams in the women's game, it's almost impossible not to. You see, it takes 5-10 seconds to send a tweet out. Even if it's something stupid and a question, a little quiz question or something, it doesn't take any effort at all. Not really. And there's just nothing from Blues.
I don't really need one person in charge of social media. Spread it about.
Exactly.
So somebody's tweeting or
just
connecting.
Exactly. I think the fixtures are out on the 27th. I'm pretty sure we were the last ones to tweet that announcement. It's just symptomatic of where we are at the moment, unfortunately. But we'll keep the faith, and hopefully something turns around.
Hayden, we've given you a long time to get settled in.
Yes.
Now it's your turn to tell us all about yourself. Where you're from, what you're doing, what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, obviously my name's Hayden, and I'm doing journalism at the University of Worcester at the moment. I'm just coming into my 3rd year now. I'm just sort of trying to get my name about and try and do a bit of this and a bit of that. Live in Shirley in Solihull originally, before I went to
just
uni.
up the road.
That's it, yeah. So, like I said, I'm just trying to hit bits and pieces here and now. Obviously, I've come on here and I've doing a lot of work with Hereford Football Club this year. If people didn't know, a sort of Phoenix club that evolved out of the old side. They now play in the Midland Premier League.
Yep.
And
how are they doing?
Well, it's 26 games unbeaten. 3 matches away from beating Benfica's record in the 71-72 season.
Right. Okay.
So there might be a bit of media. Yeah, they're all right.
I did all right.
Yeah. So I'm producing a TV documentary for them. That's for my sort of final project. So I'm down there every other week following them and drinking cider with all the lads. It's great.
Fantastic.
It's great to see them doing well. These sort of Phoenix sides, FC United's, and it does show that
Chester
fan ownership.
As well, I think,
Chester.
Chester FC,
fan ownership really works. It's a happy place to be. The supporters are really happy. They've got a football club back.
Are they still at Edgar Street?
Yes, they are. There was a bit of doubt to start with, but the council sort of,
they closed down.
They fully went bust, went to court, and they've closed the one stand down, so they've got the Meadow End and the 2 main side stands, and still managed to get 4,000 in there on Boxing Day. They've broken every non-league attendance below the Conference South since records began.
That's fantastic. I'll start following that.
So yeah, if people are interested, have a look at the story, because
such a famous club as well.
Yeah,
you know,
very
the,
famous.
The Newcastle win and
the Ronnie Radford,
the famous
Ronnie
Mots and
Radford,
commentary,
the
everything.
Newcastle game. Yeah.
they're great people and great supporters, and
Yeah.
they really are a credit to the club and the volunteers that have been down there. I went to Edgar Street probably 2 or 3 times when Blues were they were around that level, and the grounds never looked better, and it's all volunteer run. And big credit to John Hale, the chairman, who's come in, and obviously Peter Beadle and the players as well. But the fans are a true credit to the club. And
So is there any money being put into the club, or is it just purely because
there's
getting good gates?
it'll be. It's people sort of assume that because they're a big side in a small league, that they're turning over a profit and they've got all these big players. They haven't. Sort of marquee signing was Mike Simmons from Worcester City. He's come in, known as the Beast. But everyone else, local colleges, universities, small division teams, that's what they're all made up of, and that's how it's sort of come together.
Right. Good stuff.
So it's a good story. Check it out.
Yeah, right. Obviously, journalism's something you really want to get into,
Yeah.
and that, right? But is there a plum job that you're actually looking at and thinking, I'd like?
At the moment, I'm sort of, I've been to London, I've been to Spain, I'm going to Portugal in the summer to do the England over 50s World Cup that my old man's involved in.
Right.
Been down to London last week to do some stuff with a football website. So I've done bits and pieces, but I think I'd like to go out to America at some point. I think football over America. Football, soccer, or whatever we like to call
It's
it.
an emerging sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really coming into a world of its own, and people give it sticks still and say there's not real fans, and it's great to see, a bit like with Hereford, how the game is sort of changing, and people are really getting on board with it, and the fan ownership is coming in, and the displays and the tifo is, and there'd be an atmosphere at, say a Portland Timbers match that would match the likes of Borussia Dortmund. There really would be, and they're great stories, and
because crowds are picking up as well.
They really are, yeah.
It did die a death, didn't it? In the 70s,
and it was sort of
before your time.
Sort of players, marquee players, were the only thing getting it going, like your Beckhams and
that's right,
and such. But the league would competitively run on its own without the likes of Pirlo and Lampard and whoever, and David Villa, who's there now. But no, it's great to see, and it's an emerging game. I'd love to sort of be a part of that, but we'll wait and see.
I always thought with football in the United States, very much like women's football in this country, all it needed was international success. All it needed we saw what happened with the England side this summer, reaching third place in the World Cup, so nearly getting to the final, and then finally beating Germany after all this time. How much the game blossomed into the public eye, with the United States putting on such a good effort in the last World Cup in Brazil, which they did. That they were excellent to watch, and I think that sort of
definitely
blew up a little bit over in America, and if they were to do it again in 2 years' time in Russia, manage to get to a quarter final, possibly even further, I think that there's no limit to where the game could go over in the United States.
Does it wonders, doesn't it?
I think
a run,
so,
like you're saying with the girls.
Just grabs the nation's attention, and once it's got it, especially with the Americans, what if they think that they can be good at something, they'll go for hell for leather with it.
And they've got the money in the backing to do it.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
Fantastic. Right then, okay, join us in part 2 when we have a laugh at B6. See you in a bit.
Rock
love you so.
Watching the cruisers below. You know my heart's in the basement, my weekend's at an all-time low. Well, he's down on the street and he's trying hard to pull Sister Flo. And she's hoping to score, well I can't see her letting him go. Walk out of her heart, walk out of her mind. No, she's so switchy in her satin and tie, in her frock coat and bibbidi-bobbidi hat. Oh, but I could do better than that. She's an old-time ambassador of sweet-talking, night-walking games. And she's known in the Jarvis clubs for pushing ahead of the days. If she says she can do it, then she can do it. She don't make false claims. But she's a queen, such a queen, such a laughter is stuck in their brains. Now she's leading him on, and she'll lay him right down. Now she's leading him on, and she'll lay him right down. Well, it could have been me, yes, it could have been me. What didn't I say? What didn't I say? No, she's so swishy in her satin and tie, in her frock coat and bibbidi-bobbidi hat. Oh God, I could do better than that. So I lay down a while and I gaze at my hotel wall. Oh, the cot feels so cold that it don't feel like no bed at all. Yes, I lay down a while and I gaze at my hotel wall. Always down on the street, so I throw both his bags down the hall. And I'm phoning a cab, cause my stomach feels small. There's a taste in my mouth, but it don't taste at all. Well, it could have been me, yes, it could have been me. What didn't I say? What didn't I say? She's so sissy in a satin and tie, in a frock coat and bibbidi-bobbidi hat. Oh God, I could do better than that. city, strung out on lasers and slashback blazers, and ate all your razors while pulling the waiters, talking about Monroe and walking on Snow White. New York's a go-go and everything tastes nice. Poor little greenie. Get back on. Genie lives on his back. Genie loves chimney stacks. He's outrageous, he screams and he falls. But Genie let us all go.
Well, there you go. That was our little homage to David Bowie, who sadly passed away today. Well, early this morning, I think it was, wasn't it? Early this morning, yeah. So there you go. Let's talk about upcoming games. Should we talk about Forest first?
Yeah.
And how you fancy our chances?
Forest are actually on a really good run of late. They knocked QPR out the cup on Saturday at the City Ground, a 1-0 win. And they're on a pretty good run, actually. Currently sitting 14th in the table, only 8 points behind us. But they did have a poor start to the season, so it shows how a good couple of results can get you back, the momentum back going. Obviously, away from home has been our forte in the first half of the season, so it lends itself to be quite a good game, actually, quite a tight game.
Prediction?
They'll probably back themselves to beat us, to come at us. So if we can keep it tight and hit them on the break, then it could be another smash and grab, which we're so used to. So the optimist in me says maybe sneak a 2-1, but I'll probably take a draw 1-1.
Sorry, say it again.
The optimist in me, the very small optimist in me that I've got, would say 2-1 possibly, but okay. I'd take a 1-1. I think
1-1's good for you.
Yeah, I'd take a 1-1.
I think if we're looking at league positions and such, I think we could go there and get a win. And I think it might be the start of Vaughan's scoring streak that hopefully the Huddersfield fans were saying about that. I'd like to think he could go and bang in the winner in front of a few thousand Blues fans there and start his run. But yeah, I'd like to think we could go there and get a 1 or 2-0 win. I think that's not ludicrous to suggest at this point in the season.
You go for a win?
Yeah, I'll go for a win.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's gone negative.
I have gone negative.
It's gone cold.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go for a 1-0. 1-0 Forest.
1-0 Forest.
Yeah. I think they'll just nick it.
Blue Harbour tough away day at Forest, so Blues to get a draw for me. Channel K Forest 1, Blues 2. And Doco, we owe Forest for the home defeat, 2-1 to us. Yeah. I'm going to go for a Forest win, just because I know you guys are going to rip the mick out of me later. So.
Well, that earlier on in the season was when Forest were playing really terribly, and they come to our place and snuck a 1-0 in a pretty horrible game. So that's a good point. Actually, we do owe him one for that. So.
We must backtrack a bit as well and talk a bit about the ladies, because the email that had was
would you like me to read that?
Funny.
I have it, yeah. Okay. ELO said, I had an email from the ladies team about the new season. Now, my email address begins Dennis at. The email they sent me started with, Hi, Jeff. They're really trying to get fans involved, aren't they?
I'm amazed he's got an email at all.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
Fair, but,
I didn't get one. No. But
and BCFC says there's going to be a Vaughan hat trick.
I'll take that.
Right, okay. Blue Harbour like to have tribute.
The lad's insane.
I'm not even going to mention that one. Okay. You should play Heroes. It reminds me of the YouTube video of Blues winning the Carling Cup. Yeah. All right then. Okay. Should we talk about B6?
If you'd like to.
Bye. I'm going there. Bye.
I think the barracking of the coach was a bit.
Well, that's 2 games now. 2 games on the trot. It was the same at Sunderland. They did it at Sunderland, albeit not quite as ferocious.
Or well documented.
Yeah.
On social
and
media.
then but obviously the Wickham one was there for all to see. You know, the abuse for getting on the coach, the incident with Micah Richards, I think Rudy Gested had a bit of an issue with some of the fans as he was going down the tunnel as well. So my word, it's a bit of a basket case.
Micah Richards, he didn't back off though. I mean, I have to give him a little bit for just
for him for going over.
He stood there and he didn't
walk off. First thing I sort of noticed was a Villa coach and a steward, trying to pull him away.
Yeah.
In fact, he was just saying, "Look, let me just stand my ground as captain of the club and try and speak to them," albeit that they weren't very happy, which is understandable. But it's modern football. They don't want the players interacting with the fans or saying something silly.
Yeah.
You've got the two goons on the bench whispering or whatever they were saying.
Well, from what the person who made the complaint I think he stated that they were having some stupid game about who could spit their chewing gum closest to the touchline.
That's true. That's it. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I think that's what he was saying. So when the Villa fans were having a go at them, obviously because they're so close, being at Wickham, they're so close to the dugout, they were having a go at them.
It was actually just one fan that had a go at him. He actually went down to the dugout, knocked on the dugout, and they turned round and he said something along the lines of "You're a disgrace."
Yeah.
And then they gave him
very nicely.
They gave him a mouthful of abuse.
Yeah,
was it Brad Guzan
and Lescott?
No, so you'd think players
it sums up the state of the club. At the end of the last window, Villa knew they probably needed something, and they brought Jolie and Lescott in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't really have to say anything else to that. And now the window's been open for 11 days. And they haven't brought anybody in. There's, everybody that the media link Villa with, their manager says, we'd like to bring him in, but I don't.
Do they want to come?
It's interesting that
are you asking Loic Remy to leave Chelsea to go and play for Villa?
Well,
I don't care.
I think
this
is because they still actually believe they are a bigger club. Than
Possibly. Yeah,
still in the FA Cup anyway.
Only just. I saw the bit about the wheelchair as well. Did somebody pinch a wheelchair?
Really?
How low?
Somebody pinched a wheelchair?
Yeah, from a Wickham Wanderers supporter.
They took it into a pub. Was it the Marston?
Apparently,
Marston Green or somewhere like that. And there was a bit of an altercation. They managed to get the chair back, and apparently a spokesperson or someone's coming down from the club to get it and pick it up, and that's terrible, isn't it?
It's pretty low.
Although I don't like B6, but fair play to Richards for having balls to face up to the fans. Micah Richards would make a great UN peacemaker. What they need is fans to get behind them. The players boarding that bus must be dreading playing for them again.
But to be fair to the Villa fans, they have been behind.
No,
they have travelled the country this year, last year, and they have been a good set of fans. They have been behind. I think this is just now is the first time that this has happened.
I think it's the tipping point for Villa fans. I think they've seen the last 3 years of mediocre struggling.
Yeah,
and to be fair to GA, we don't like them, but they do take a lot. Pretty much everywhere.
Oh yeah.
With their away support. And like I say, I think this season has just gone from.
And you are talking
one
about a minority
another.
Here as well. You're not talking about the whole of all.
I don't know. I was speaking to a season ticket holder today, a Villa season ticket holder today at my work, who said Tuesday is going to be vicious. He reckons Tuesday is going to, because they're at home to Palace tomorrow night, and he says, and he believes that it's going to be
nasty,
absolutely vicious atmosphere. And he said he wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple of players who were out for a month or two now, not out injured. Well, that'd be the official line, but they don't want to play while the atmosphere's like that at the moment.
It was interesting. I was speaking to a Villa fan today, and he sort we were talking about Lescott and Guzan mucking around on the pitch like a pair of 15-year-old boys, and he sort of made the comparison to Grealish earlier on in the season, with his misdemeanours and going out and being pictured on a night out. Is it the sort of same thing? You've got the most senior players in your squad kicking chewing gum around when you're 1-1 against the League 2 side and everything's going on. and then Grealish has been made this sort of outcast, for doing what he did.
Well,
and
you
they've
think at the
sort of
start
gotten
of the
away with
season,
it, haven't they?
at the start of the season, he was the saviour, was he?
Yeah, exactly.
He was the boy wonder. He was the kid that
He was the hope, wasn't he?
their hopes laid upon. Towards the end of last season, at the start of this season, and then obviously
But that was under Tim Sherwood, wasn't it?
yeah,
So
and then the
that's-
drinking scenario happened. Obviously Sherwood goes, and all of a sudden, not just with the manager, but the fans have totally turned against Grealish as well. And there was rumours of him going out on loan to a championship club. Which
The one thing I would say about the Guzan and Lescott situation is that normally, if you're in a Premier League stadium, fans ain't going to see that.
No, exactly.
And it does go
the
on.
TV cameras were there, yeah.
And it does go on. That sort of thing does go on. I mean, I was listening on the radio over here. There's a couple of players saying, "Yeah, that is the sort of thing that does happen anyway."
Yeah.
But your fans don't normally see it. But because of the situation where they was in full view of everybody, and perhaps they just needed to be a bit more switched on.
Absolutely. Well, Hayden said that they're two of the most senior players in that squad. That's a very young squad at the moment that they've got, and the likes of Guzan and Lescott are the ones that should be leading these young players through and really galvanising that squad. And as you say, they're there. Maybe it is something that goes on a lot, but they're away to a League Two side in the FA Cup with the position they're in the league, and they're having a mess about on the bench.
And maybe that's something that perhaps not the manager, but somebody in the management team should
I think the whole higher up from the very top. I don't think the players have any respect for anybody at that club.
I think the club captain should probably go over and have a word as well.
Possibly,
Michael Richards should, as he did with the sort of players that had a few issues, he went over and sort of addressed it, whether that was right or wrong or not. And maybe he should say, "Look, lads, we're in the position we're in. Have a bit of respect for the paying fans." You know?
The thing about this all now, though, of course, is that you said before December that Villa's not going to go down.
I still think
really. But where are they going to get a win from?
They're going to get 4 wins.
They need one.
They're going to get 1 win from. I don't know, 4.
And it might just kick them on. Look at Leicester last season.
They're a damn sight worse off than Leicester were last season.
Doomed last season. They're about 15 points
doomed.
Off.
Below doomed, I think is what you was trying to say.
Yeah, I know.
Villa are 11 points off the drop at the moment. I'm sure Leicester were about 15 February or March last year.
You honestly
wait till we get to February or March and that'll be about right.
George Blue says, glad I don't support them. That isn't support. Even in Blue's darkest days, I've not seen anything like that.
I don't know. When they were trying to get to Golds and Sullivan after we went down at home to Blackburn.
I can remember things being thrown on against when we played Alvechurch in the 80s. And
Alvechurch?
The thing about this, the fans are passionate about their club.
Not Alvechurch.
And it just comes out.
Aldringham,
So I was gonna
that was
say.
We
haven't dropped that low, have we?
So the thing about this is that fans are passionate about their club.
Yeah,
they should be. And emotions run high. And I'm sorry, the wages these guys, they've just got to accept it and get on with it.
Yeah, it's justifying
and prove the fans are wrong on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think it's all about effort, isn't it? Really,
if you're not good enough, if you skill or quality, then that remains to be seen. If you put 100% in and you come off the pitch, you're knackered, and you go over to your fans and you applaud them for being there.
If Bournemouth go down this season, their fans will say, right, fair enough.
They will clap.
We weren't good enough. We weren't good enough. But my God, we've made an effort of it.
Yeah. I think that's the only team we beat this year.
It is, and one other team you've beat this year.
Channel K says he thinks players should hang the boots up.
Thank you for reminding me that one.
B6 think the abuse they're getting now.
I like Doco's remarks.
If we don't go up this season, now we'll know what abuse is like when they come back down to stands next season.
And whatever you're drinking, Doco wants some.
Blues protested against the owners. They spent 50 million, so they have every right to moan about players.
There's a lot of moaning about the owners, but they did spend 50 million in the summer. The owner has put his hand in his pocket. Maybe he's trusted the wrong people. Maybe he's listened to the wrong people and give the money to the wrong people.
How much did they get for Benteke?
Yeah.
Well,
They didn't spend 50
fair
million,
enough.
did they?
Not net, but he could have pocketed it. He could have took that money and said, "Well, that'll do."
It's a question of who makes the signings down there. No one seems to know who's in control.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. There was a meeting today with the owners, like Randy Lerner and a few people, discussing apparently what they can best do to help the management.
Yeah.
What they can best do to help the management is let them bloody manage.
Yeah.
It's simple as that, you know. Anyway.
It does
Sorry,
work at some places, though.
I'm starting to get upset.
Yeah,
here.
No, carry on.
You look at the way Spurs have gone the last year and a bit. All right, they wasted the Bayern money a few years ago, but the last year and a bit they've spent very wisely, and so it can work, that system of having a team that you know a committee which brings in players. It can work, but it's just very rare.
How nice is it for you guys? I mean, I've been doing this.
It's fantastic.
I've been doing this program for now I don't know how many years, and it's been fantastic coming here watching you. It's all doom and gloom and we've got no money and the owner and blah. It's been brilliant.
The thing is, it's actually not
but now
that better, but it's because that B6 are doing so bad. It feels better.
Yeah.
We'd like to help you out.
We're on a par now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh no! We're still in the FA Cup, so we're not on a par. Clinging on by our nails.
We'll be on a par in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think you're probably right because I can't do anything at home.
I think the management appointments have been terrible. I'm hoping he's talking about
talking
B6.
about
as well.
Yeah, I think they have.
No, I've been, yeah.
Yeah.
Sherwood was the perfect appointment.
Were they management appointments?
Sherwood was the perfect appointment at the end of last season because he's the type of bloke that will put his arm around certain players and boost them for 3 months.
Yeah.
But then that should have been it then. I wouldn't have given him a new contract.
Have you thought, like, mate, if Sherwood stayed on, would there be
No, there wouldn't be any difference. No,
So,
I honestly don't think there would.
No.
Which is why I feel a little bit sorry for this guy. Yeah. Not obviously, not really sorry for him.
No, of course not.
But but I don't think he could have got Mourinho in, and I don't think he'd have done much more with those players.
As a manager, he hasn't exactly come in and galvanised the club, has he?
Well, the first thing he did was completely alienate the club captain of 10 years, rightly or wrongly, Agbon Lahore. However badly Agbon Lahore was playing, he's a big influence in that dressing room. And the first thing he would was drop him, and he ain't been since.
I always sort of point to Lee Clark. Whatever people thought of him in a managerial capacity,
as well.
He was a passionate bloke. I thought,
very passionate.
And you could sort of see it in his eyes that he wanted what was best, and whether he did the right thing or the wrong thing, I don't see it in Remy Gard's eyes that I'm behind the fans, I'm behind the team, we can do this, let's go and get a result. I just don't see it.
No.
I think the hope has gone.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. You're passionate. We have had some passionate managers. I refer to Barry Fry. And he could.
Sometimes your passion can go the other way, and you
of
lose
course.
sight of what you're actually of what's going on, and you're so. I would say that about Clark. I think he just got so overwhelmed with the terrible home form, not being able to hold on to a lead. As soon as we conceded, that was it. I think he just got so overwhelmed with the whole saga of it all that he just completely lost sight of any football tactics or anything, and just like you say, his passion just flowed over.
ELO's got an issue with Mr. Pugh.
ELO's always got an issue with me.
He thinks that we need to check your shirt, make sure that you've got the right colours on. Perhaps do you actually think they're going to win the FA Cup?
No, I don't think they're going to win the FA Cup.
I'm not even sure they're going to beat.
How many points are they off top 4?
Wouldn't that be awful if they did have a cup run now, because then spirits would lift.
They've got Man City in the next round.
That's it's good stuff, then.
And Channel K says he would love to get a fan cam at Villa Park tomorrow. Could be interesting.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of people outside the ground with cameras having a look.
I'm sorry, but this is fun. Even I'm going to laugh at this one. Jack Grealish's hair is the only thing higher than B6 at the moment,
as well as his ego
and his socks. That's for certain.
Yes, they have drawn Man City.
They have, drawn Man City at home. Should they obviously dispatch Wickham?
Wouldn't bank on
replay.
I wouldn't bank on it.
No, I wouldn't either. No.
Bradford City situation when
well,
league
yeah.
level came and
Absolutely.
thought it was going to be a party.
But they've just got to come out and go hell for leather every single match, whatever. They've got to, just. And Chris Pugh's pointing at something.
It's great radio.
Sorry?
It's great radio.
I think he's found some. Have you found some porn? Or I don't know what's going on.
No,
nothing.
No, nothing. No, we were just looking to see
I thought we might have had something
Nick
from
would-
our leader. But
But just seeing if he was alive.
I'm a bit worried about him.
We were a bit worried about him.
Do we not know where he is
He usually
then?
sends in a script or
Yeah.
usually pokes his nose in on a shout box.
Mentions something.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let's let the side
He's
down.
probably drunk somewhere. Right?
Yeah, it's possible.
Because we
He's
do know
getting
he
ready
likes
for
to drink.
He's getting ready for Derby on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
The big event.
We'll talk about it. Competitions. We've got no in the box competition,
No,
obviously, because you forgot to bring
Again,
you
2
forgot
weeks
to bring
in a row.
and you forgot the box as well.
I can pretend I've got some. I know what I'm going to bring, so if you want to have a guess, I can pretend that it's here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Derby. Let's talk about Derby. Where, of course, we've got the coaches come in and I've got bacon sandwiches and sausage sandwiches all ordered.
Healthily grilled,
Healthily
not fried.
for you.
Not
Yeah,
fried,
healthy
grilled.
for you, yeah.
Fat cut off. Whole milk cow. Thank
And
you
we're all
very much.
looking forward to it.
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
It should be a really good day. Derby's always a good day.
Yeah.
Away game, and obviously the ticket sales have gone well again, as expected.
Close to sellouts.
Yeah, it
3,000,
won't be far off, I think. Yeah, so
fantastic.
yeah, it'll be
Great game last season, wasn't it?
Well,
Last
yeah, it's
minute
fantastic.
equaliser.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a few where there were crackers. The FA Cup game, I remember where we were 1-0 down with about 5 minutes to go, and Dan and Ridgewell scored. I think Ridgewell's was in the last minute. I think so. To go through. So yeah, there's been some really good games away at Derby. So
Fancy result
hopefully,
there?
no, I don't
No.
actually.
No.
I think they're probably going to push on now. I think they're looking to really push on now. I lost at Middlesbrough over Christmas, which I think affected them a little bit, and I think they'll want to make amends for that and go on another good run.
It's a bit like the old days, actually. Going to away games, not expecting to win, but still having a good day out.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of what the away fans do anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think that's always been the mantra of a lot of away fans. Whatever happens,
That's
we'll
what
make
it's
it
about,
a good
isn't
day.
it?
Yeah,
Having a good time and seeing some winner.
That's right, yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I think the Tilton Talk should do the Wickham versus B6 return fixture. What do you mean, go?
That's what he means.
Go
Go.
to
Yeah.
Villa
Go.
Park.
I wouldn't go.
Sorry.
You're gonna be going there
Come
next
on.
year.
You didn't. You did you go to the
I
cup
did,
game?
I
You did go
did,
to the cup
yeah.
game, yeah. Because I remember you saying that you weren't going to go, but you did go. Didn't you?
I did go
Yeah.
to the cup game. Yeah,
Uh,
I did. Snuck myself in.
I wouldn't want the wife of a B6 fan at the moment because all the bed sheets must be missing. So,
Getting all they can get. Channel K, I hope so. Could we see the same result as last year at Derby, 2-2? I'd take that right now.
yeah.
If we could get 4 points out the next two games, that'd be a brilliant return.
Yeah.
I think that would really sort of justify that we are up there.
I would say,
think-
I would agree with that. If we got and then we've got Ipswich the week after at home.
How they do now Ipswich? Because
Ipswich,
they're on
I'm
a good
sure
run at one
Ipswich
stage,
is
aren't they?
sixth at the moment.
Yeah, they're in and
yeah,
around,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
These are all teams, maybe not Forest, but Derby especially.
Derby and Ipswich
They're gonna
in
be up
particular,
there,
I
aren't
think. I think if you avoid defeat against those sorts of teams and pick up points from
Elsewhere,
everybody else, then we are not going to be far away in the end.
Yeah. I'm sure Chris can get us all cleansed afterwards. I'm not sure what he means by that.
I think that's
I'm
you
not sure I
with
want
your-
to know what it means.
Is that referring to me being a
I
member of
think
the
that's you
clergy?
with your
Right.
religious
Oh,
background.
right,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah. Tomorrow and Saturday's game will be a real measure of how far we've come and probably go a long way to sorting out the rest of the season.
Absolutely. If we get no points, then we'll probably all take mid-table, wouldn't we? Whereas if we go unbeaten and pick up 2 to 4 points, then we're all looking at it saying, why not?
Or 6 points.
Why couldn't we?
we
Well, yeah.
haven't touched on
I mean,
that really, have we?
if we nick both, then my word, we really are. I'm sure we'll all be getting excited again about the prospect of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we're going to start. I don't think we should be that negative to keep looking at being a mid-table.
Yeah.
You
There's nothing wrong
know.
with being mid-table. Ask GA if he'd like to be mid-table.
Oh God! Inner table.
Can I just remind you that I am the supporter of the most successful team in this fair city of ours. More successful than any of the teams that you guys have been talking about today. So I'm quite happy, actually.
Yeah, but that's Speedway.
That's Speedway.
Different sport.
Different sport. Yeah. I think we should predict the game that relegates B6. The winner gets a blue Peter badge. I haven't looked at the fixtures actually. I don't think who would be the team that relegates.
Would you like me to have a look for that?
Bournemouth. Mind you, I'm saying they're
Oh.
not. I'm saying they're staying up. So
yes.
I think they've got Bournemouth at home at the start of April.
Oh, okay. Oh, they'll be down by then. They'll be down by then.
Who else could be joining them though in that league?
Yeah,
That's
an interesting.
Now that is a tough one because, much as I keep saying, I still think Villa can get out of it. I look at Sunderland and say Allardyce doesn't get relegated, but Sunderland are a
It's the
really
first time
poor
ever,
side.
isn't
Well, exactly.
Right, would you
But
like to...
I've got a feeling they'll get out of it as well.
really.
So I'm gonna go for Norwich,
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna go for Bournemouth.
And
Okay. Oh no, because
No, I've got to keep
predicting
them up,
them.
haven't I?
Would you like to know the next few fixtures?
I
for
need
Villa?
I need somebody else to go down.
Okay, so obviously it's Crystal Palace tomorrow.
Swansea.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday, Leicester at home.
Yeah.
Come on. And we got the cup loss against Wickham.
yeah,
Then we're at West Brom.
big game.
Then
Still
we're
staying
at,
up, are they, Chris?
then we're at West Ham. And then Norwich come to us. That's
So
going to
this
be
is a
Massive.
pretty important.
What a
run of
massive
games,
5
really.
games.
Yeah, massive.
followed by home against Liverpool.
Beat Palace.
Come on.
Beat Leicester.
Beat Leicester.
Yeah.
Nobody's beating Leicester at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, they played a
Maybe they'll relax
second
against
string
us.
team against a good Tottenham side. And got a
Damari
result.
Graham.
Yeah, that's
Should enjoy that one going to Villa Park so soon
Yep. Oh, you'll love that.
after leaving.
You'll love that.
Get a bit of
Yeah,
stick
he's-
down
yeah,
there.
he's-
He owes us a goal
He
there,
owes us.
so yeah.
Blue Arbor agrees with you. Swansea
Yeah.
could be in the mix.
Swansea, yeah.
As I'm still saying they'll stay up, I'll go Swansea, Norwich, Bournemouth
Oh.
will be the 3 to go down. And the 3 to go up.
I don't see where we're going to get it. We might get a win
Somehow, some way you'll do it.
on the 9th of
Always
March.
Squirm out of it.
You always do.
9th of April. No, it's March.
Oh,
9th of
hang on.
April, yeah.
Does he? That's me.
So, Super 6.
Super 6. Do you want me to get the results? Last week's results, after obviously it was the FA Cup predictions. I actually came back to having a go this week after passing the responsibility on to my brother,
Right, okay.
and I got 10 points last
Not
week.
so bad.
5 correct results. I predicted a draw between Southampton and Palace, and Palace won that one
Not too far
2-1.
away, though,
So I
was
wasn't too far away from getting all of those correct. As we go into the Tilton Talk Show League, in the specific round, Chris Hayes was top on 16 points. Actually, my good week of 10 wasn't actually that good, because a lot of people did well last week. Chris Hayes 16, Pat Spall 15, Adam Beebe 13, Matthew Gordon 13, Daniel Bishop and Chris Brown with
Yes.
12 points. What a weekend.
I know. I've had some great runs, you know. Last few.
Getting
last
a
few
nosebleed,
games.
climbing that
I know,
table.
yeah. I think I'm just behind you, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd had a good week with 10, but
Yeah.
everybody else has done better than me. Nick Spore with 11 as well, so Hobber and SKC with 10 points. Ollie with 11. So it means the season leader, so at the moment, is Daniel Bishop on 194. Tied second, Ray Hobrow and Adam Beebe on 189.
Oh, so he's tied second now.
He is tied second.
He's
It's
slipping
closing
badly.
up on the top now. And at the bottom, Julio on 66, Luke Spall on 98, Harry Shersby Wignall on 121, Chris Brown on 138 and Chris Pugh on 145. Denise Bishop 148. Stephen Simpson 150. Nick Spore 158. So we've got to catch Nick now.
Okay, so
that's easy enough.
we've got a few comments directed towards you, actually.
To me? Oh, here we go.
From that was good radio, wasn't it? I'm just pointing at to you, Mr. Pugh.
To me, Mr. Pugh, yeah.
Doco says wants you to know that Oxfam are having a sale on B6 shirts at the moment.
Okay.
So should you care to partake? And I think we should have a vote on if Mr. Pugh is a secret Villa fan. The most votes decides if he gets on the coach on Saturday. And Doco wants to know, is your season ticket for the Villa in the box tonight?
No, it's not, no. I do apologise to everyone who thinks I'm sort of infiltrating the show as a secret BC.
George Blue says Villa, Swansea and Bournemouth are going down.
Villa, Swansea, Bournemouth.
As does Doco agrees with that.
You see, I think Norwich are one of the bankers to go. I don't see enough in Norwich for the rest of the season to keep them afloat.
And yet, for some reason,
I think
the Villa's going to escape. That would be one hell of a... From this point, it would be one hell of an escape.
I think that's more of a Blues fan thing. That's more of a thing that
that's the only reason. If it was Norwich in your position, I'd say they'd forget about it completely. Forget about
what everybody's saying. I mean, everybody's saying.
But it's the fact that I've been convinced that they've gone for the last 2 years and they've managed to drag themselves out.
But I've never been in this situation.
No, never been.
We've always been floating around that third spot, relegation spot. But this is
floating.
Yeah, I mean, we are the strong.
I remember last season, I was absolutely convinced after Villa lost away at Hull 2-0 last year, and that was the day Lambert got the sack. The day after Lambert got the sack, and I was convinced that they were gone after they lost to Hull. And
so you haven't really got a good track record here.
And Sherwood came in, and saved them and got to the FA Cup final.
I mean, this has got to, without a doubt, be the strongest team that Villa have ever had, because they're holding everybody else up.
Strongest shoulders.
Question for Hayden.
Yep.
Your most memorable game as a Blues fan?
As a Blues fan?
Yeah.
Well, there's been a few down the years. I do remember quite fondly the Down Dublin Robbie Savage.
Oh, right,
squabble.
Okay. You look old enough to remember that.
Well, yeah, that was one of my earlier sort of memories. A great memory I have that is often overlooked from a Blues fan point of view was the win against West Ham. Was it 3-1 to go into the next round against the Villa in the
the semi-final.
It was the
second leg.
The atmosphere.
Yeah, that was.
It was like a pressure cooker. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. And when that Gardner goal went in, I've never felt like it. Obviously, there's Wembley and all that sort of stuff, but at St Andrews, in front of the home fans, that was one of the games where it really was a hairs on the back of the neck sort of moment. And if I remember, West Ham was sort of gritty, sort of nasty opponents on the night, and there was a bit of heckling.
Well, they were 2-1 up from the first leg.
They took the advantage.
And Carlton's Cole scored an absolute worldie at the end of the first half. Which meant that at half time we were 3-1 down on aggregate.
And Lee Bowyer
scored,
released the
and then Roger Johnson got a header, and it went to extra time. And
it was like somebody had written a script.
Absolutely,
how can we make this a really good script and have a good ending?
And I mean, you talk about fans sticking with the team. We did that night. Even at half time, we could have easily, heads down and been convinced we were out, but we stuck with them and kept going. And
I used to run a bit of a YouTube channel, BCFC Highlights, and I used to do quite a lot of videos, and that racked up a few thousand views. And I remember a West Ham fan writing in that night and dropping a comment on the comments box there, and he said, "Look, I've never heard anything like it when that goal went in. That Gardner explosion of noise." And Tom Ross's commentary on the night,
pretty special.
The bubbles are popping all over Birmingham. Was the comment?
That's right, I'm going to have to play that though tonight. It was
brilliant.
The atmosphere was just incredible.
Brilliant.
Will we ever see the likes of
a similar one to that? when I was a bit younger was the 2001 cup final against Liverpool, but that semi-final against Ipswich at home.
Yes, that
when we won 4-1, and I remember the fourth goal was Andy Johnson, and their centre half played it back to Richard Wright.
Yeah.
And the goal mouth was horrible, and it took a horrible little bounce as he went to kick it, and AJ's just gone through and put it into the empty net, and that place was erupted that night as well. It was similar to the West Ham one. That was an amazing night as well.
It's interesting to make the point about this sort of the memories we remember of it being so loud, and like we made the point about the sort of Crystal Palace model earlier. Would that, if it was well supported and if the attendance was there and if the interest was there, is that something that could sort of bring that back?
There's obviously a link because I mean some of the best games are when the crowd have been ferocious,
win or lose or draw. You know,
the last time we had a sellout was the West Brom Cup game.
That's right.
Yeah,
and although we lost, we got loud that day. It was loud and it was a good atmosphere.
AJ, another player we gave away as well. Loved AJ.
We've had this conversation about managers, about Steve Bruce, hasn't we, before? And I said that I don't hold Steve Bruce with much affection, mainly because of that. Buying Clinton Morrison for 4.5 plus Andy Johnson, who then went on for 8 million afterwards. So in effect, we bought Clinton Morrison for 12.5 million in 2003.
I don't know if you saw the
bit painful.
Dug out the newspaper from 2000 in the promotion. And it was very strange reading the comments about. I mean, he was portrayed. Bruce was portrayed as a miracle man. In the day, he was the Messiah. How fickle.
Absolutely.
Sports. It's not just football. It's
sport. People want instant success and they want it. I want it now,
because that's the whole point, isn't it? That's what I mean, it's not the whole point, but it is the whole point at the same time.
But
you want to win.
Bruce has got the uncanny knack of doing it wherever he's gone. The first 6 months, 18 months to probably up to 2 years, he seems to do wonders with everybody. But once he gets to that point, and then people start expecting a little bit more and a little bit more, he can't give them that, and then once they sort of realise that he can't, then his teams tail off. But
we pay our money to be fickle. You're damn right we do.
That's true.
You're damn right. And at the moment we pay quite a lot.
We do.
We were saying about instant success, and we all want it. What is instant success with Rowett and the Blues? He's been there a while now.
I think his instant success was what he achieved last season to take us from 8-0 losing at home to Bournemouth at 23rd to where did we finish? 13th, was it? 12th, 13th.
So you enjoyed the end of the season last year because you were safe, wasn't you?
Yeah.
So was the expectation off his shoulders then? Has he sort of got the?
I think that half a season. I think the first 6 months has allowed him. If we tail off towards the end of the season now, I think what he's done up to now has given him that leeway where even if we did tail off, I think you say, okay, fair enough. We go again. We start again at the start of next season and we go again. Like
trust his recruitment.
Absolutely, because of what he's achieved so far.
What worst case scenario if he goes on a bad run now? So 6 or 7 games unbeaten. Without a win or a point. Fans can turn
I don't think we're in danger of going down.
No, I don't think we're good.
So even if that does happen, like I said before, I think what he's achieved so far in his year and a bit at Blues, I think he's earned enough leeway where we say, okay, it's not great, but we trust what you've done so far, so regroup and go again.
Sometimes you've got to accept that football is an up and down game. It happens to them.
Absolutely.
Look at Chelsea. Is it their turn to sort of have a spell? And yes, it was. They've changed it. They're building up again. And you never know. It might be our turn next. It might be Ipswich.
Well, it is up and down. But I mean, that's fun. That's the way football's changed now. I mean, especially with clubs with money. Losing is not an alternative. It's win, 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 win. You know,
And a lot of Blues fans sort of forget about the ownership situation. Even as Rowett's come in, and he sort of disguised it. He sort of put it in the back of a cupboard and locked it away, and we've sort of forgotten about it, which has been a nice distraction. And I think that was sort of a, you know, once he'd sort of settled us down with that, I think that was a real good achievement for him to sort of get the fans on side in that respect.
I think also,
especially in the first couple of months in charge, those good results, especially at home.
Yeah.
You know, the terrible run at home we were having under Clark, and then he comes in immediately, and I think we played Watford and Cardiff, who were both in the top 6 at the time, and won both of them. So, I think we won one and drew one, but but you know that put people in his favour straight away.
Progressing every season with Rowett's is expected. We need to progress to back the fans, to bring back the fans. Also, we need new owners. That's got to be the number one. Is get new owners. We'll just get some consistency
beyond Rowett's capabilities. The owner situation, but
we do. I think things will change dramatically in the club, fan wise as well. I think it'll really change if we can just get some clarity.
Yeah.
You know.
It's all the fans want, isn't it? They want to know what's going on, and they want this working relationship between the board, the management, the fans. And we see it places like Newcastle, you know, with Mike Ashley, it just breaks down, and the whole thing just falls apart. You could even go as far and say as it's the Villa's the same situation.
Absolutely.
I think you could go as far as to say as most of football is the same situation, really.
Which is sad.
Leeds are the same, aren't they?
But do you think that a lot of that is down to things like social media?
That's a good question, actually.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because we've got instant news, haven't we?
And rumours,
and we've got instant rumours, and we've got instant
instant rumours touted as facts is the big thing, isn't it?
I think what you've got is instant, the ability for fans to instantly hit back as well. So
I don't think
and once that tweet has been sent saying, you know, you mentioned about Vaughan, most fans got behind Vaughan, a couple didn't, but once you've sent that tweet saying you're an idiot, how'd you miss that sort of thing, then it's gone then.
In days gone past, the clubs would have been in total control over what information went out, and so they would be able to. But now you just let one little piece of information out, and it's everywhere, and rumours on the back of that piece. So I think they're wrong to feel that way. I think they should just embrace it.
And also that rumour will become Chinese whisper.
But
how many have we heard about our own?
But by the same token, if every time they just turn around and says, well, actually that's rubbish, because that would squash that rumour. But then again, how many times would they have to do that?
It's true.
It's a juggling act, isn't it? It's a juggling act.
So what
it makes you wonder sometimes. It is a case of there's no smoke without a fire, but
that's it.
Yeah, they don't want to announce anything concrete in case it goes under and stuff.
Because if they announce something and then it didn't happen,
exactly,
you know, they can't win.
Well, we get it a lot at BCFC Followers. You know, me and Adam who sort of run the page, and we see rumours, and we don't obviously confirm them, but we discuss them. You know, that's what football's all about. If this player became available, would we, or you know, this player's rumoured to be leaving, would it have an effect on the team? And people come in with these sniping comments. You know, you shouldn't discuss this, or don't talk about it till it's confirmed. You know, but that's what social media has allowed us to do. It's a platform for people to discuss, and I think that is a good thing. You know, for fans. Just
briefly, tell us what about BCFC Followers? Because I mean, they were up for an award.
We were, we went to the National Football Blogging Awards in Manchester in November. Me, Adam, and Connor, who's one of the younger writers, who put an absolutely fantastic piece up the other day. If you get the chance to go and read it, do. Up at Hotel Football, which is part of Old Trafford, we were nominated for the Best Football Club blog. That's nationwide, right. You know, so it's quite a big deal. It was presented by Bianca Westwood at Sky Sports, and John Barnes and Stan Collymore were there.
Fantastic.
As well.
You're up against some.
We're up against some big names. You know, the likes of Anfield HQ, the Lad Bible guys were there. There were some big sporting companies, Kitbag, Football Fancast, some big companies. So it was great to be a part of that. And if you haven't checked us out, come across. There's always there's always chance for a debate. And if you've got some content you want to get on the site, send it in. You know, we love an opinion.
We can put a link up on the shout box.
Yeah,
can't we?
Yeah, sure.
We love an opinion. We love to give people the chance to get involved and have their say. And Adam's been great, and he's taken us on board, and it's going places, and it's a great place to be. So
fantastic,
yeah.
Brilliant stuff, good stuff. We are slowly running out of time. If Villa go down, then we'll make a fiddler's elbow up and down for a few seasons. What's funny?
I love that. It's a great. That is very.
Until they get rid of the French connection. First thing God does is get in touch with Wenger. Blues had a similar thing, poor ownership, and things start to go down.
This thing about getting rid of the manager, at some point you've got to say, right, they've got to stick with this guy for a bit.
I think you're right.
It's just ridiculous.
I think you're right, but again, it's fan pressure.
I think his second favourite at the bookies to be the next Premier League manager sacked. Remy Gardner.
It's just ridiculous.
Who would they bring in though?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to who is going to come into this?
Yeah.
You're going to come in, are you?
Can I just say, Nigel Pearson is out of a job at the moment.
And Lee Clark is
the same person that saved Leicester from a similar fate last season.
Yeah.
If they were to get rid of Remy Gardner and bring him in.
Yeah, but as I say, like it is all it's fan power, isn't it? You know what I mean? Fans again.
Yeah, but you know what? At some point, you've got to have the balls to stand up to them and believe in what you've got to manage. You've got to, that's what you're there for.
Just quickly going back to the social media thing. So you think like a ban on social media for players and staff?
I don't think you can do that. Yeah. I think they need to have a code of conduct in place.
Yeah, I think a lot of clubs have their own code of conduct now, but
that's all it takes.
Because
there are
some players
you never
drinks
hear
are taken.
It's just a code of conduct, and to be honest, when players come into a club, they should be given lessons in how. I'm sure they do in how to respond to the media and etc. Part of that should also be how best and to use or not use social media. You can't. This is a free country. You can't gag people.
No.
But you've got
dictatorship almost.
Yeah, but you do. They do need to have a code of conduct about what brings the club into disrepute or doesn't bring the club into disrepute. That would be the same wherever you worked. I mean, I work in a nursery. If I said, so there's a lot of confidentiality. If I broke at confidentiality, I would quite rightfully be out on my ear.
Yeah.
And so that's no different. Why is that any different for footballers or any sports person, really?
Yeah.
They should have a code of conduct that's agreed as part of their contract.
Yeah.
And then that's it, really. I think.
That's a fair point.
I've said a lot today. I'm not going to shut up now.
Okay, well that's about it. Thanks to Jay, thanks to Chris Pugh, thanks to our special guest Hayden Atkins. We're off.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.